Milele episode 2 is out. It was a very emotional episode, especially for the couples. It was hectic. They had a session with the therapist, and they had an exercise where the couples were, it was just talking without interruption, or listening without interruption. So the couple, one of the partners, your mouth is covered, and then your partner speaks, and you're not supposed to say anything or interrupt while they're speaking, and then vice versa. So that was this week's episode. So let's get into it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, support a bitch.
Support me, bitch.
So the first couple to start was Aaron and John. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna talk about the therapy session and the exercise all together, because it was the therapy session first and then the exercise later. So we're just gonna talk about it together. So Aaron and John started. When Aaron started talking, because the therapist asked, what is the issue? Like, what is it that is the main concern when it comes to your marriage? What is your issue with John? Aaron says that he hates every time he tries to talk to John, or they're trying to communicate, or they're trying to talk about something. Her first response is always crying. Like, you cannot talk to John without her crying. Mind you, when Aaron is saying this, he's actually emotional and crying. He said there's a tragedy that happened, and he saw someone crying, and it really broke him psychologically. So anytime he sees a woman crying, or rather John crying, he can't handle it. But while he's doing this, he's also crying. He wasn't like bawling like, but he was like, So it was just ironic for him to say that. For John, she says that, we talked about it last episode, Aaron doesn't listen to John. Aaron would rather go listen to men outside than listen to John. Any decision John is not privy to, Aaron is going to do whatever Aaron wants to do and then tell John later. And that's the main concern when it comes to John. That's one of the concerns when it comes to John. The therapist asked John, what is it you would want to do to your husband right now? Just ask the simple question, right? And then John said, I would like to hit my husband with a spade. And mind you, she said it in Kiswahili first, and I was watching it without the subtitles. So John said in Kiswahili, ningetaka kumpiga na koleo. And I was like, what is a koleo? I was like, what is a koleo? So I put the subtitles back on, and then it was, I want to hit him with a spade. And Aaron was so shocked. Aaron looked at her like, eh? And then he started laughing because he was like, you want to hit me? I think the only couple that doesn't want to harm each other is Yuri and Latifa. All these other couples want to harm each other, physically, by the way. And she just started laughing, and she said, yes, I want to hurt him the way he hurts me. Mind you, I knew a spade is called a djembe. I didn't know it was called koleo in Kiswahili, by the way. The therapist asked, are you two living together? And they said no, they're not living together at the moment. So they're only together right now because they're on the show, but they're not really living together. So I guess their relationship is really, really in the pits right now. So they actually need this. They need this show. They need this break. They need this therapy. They do. There's one thing I want to say about the episode when it came to the therapist. I wish I would have had the therapist give his opinion, because all he did was ask questions and write them, and was writing things down. I really wanted to hear his opinion or advice, or task for the couples to do after, because I feel like that would have helped them out. Because he asked, when the last time you hugged, and Aaron and John said, I can't even remember the last time we hugged. And then John was like, oh, I remember. She even remembered the date. She was like, it was this day last year when there was a tragedy. That's because he saw me crying. That's the only time he hugged me. Since then, he has not hugged me. I can't even remember the last time he hugged me before that. So these two are really not good at all. So I would have loved to hear the therapist giving them like homework. Okay, go hug each other every single morning right now, because you're in the same room, sleeping in the same bed or something. Now, the exercise that they were doing, John was the first to talk, and Aaron was listening. So Aaron, his mouth was covered, and he was just listening. John says that the in-laws do not like her. Aaron's family does not like her. Aaron's family compares her to the women that have been there before. That Aaron used to protect her, but of late Aaron doesn't protect her. And even when they're gossiping about Joanne, Aaron these days says something negative about Joanne. Like not like before where Aaron would stand up for Joanne. Now he doesn't. Something has changed that Aaron doesn't stand up for Joanne. And Joanne feels bad because she went against a lot of people to be with Aaron. And she lost friendships, and she thought that she had Aaron, and now that Aaron doesn't back her up, she's alone. She can't even speak to Aaron because Aaron might go and tell the family everything. Aaron says, yes, my family does not like Joanne, and Joanne doesn't like my family. My family has done a lot of things to hurt Joanne, but I've always protected her. But Joanne is saying you're not protecting her now. So I do not know what happened. I'm guessing we'll find out later, but you're not protecting her now. Joanne says Aaron had a first wife. Unfortunately, she passed away. And then they say that they compare the first wife to Joanne. And I was like, oh, most in-laws do that. They'll compare you to every other woman to make you feel some type of way. I bet you if Joanne leaves and there's another woman who comes in, they will compare that woman to you, Joanne. That's just how in-laws are. But I'm guessing it's deeper than that because Joanne was really crying and really felt like Aaron doesn't have her back anymore. And then now it was time for Aaron to speak and Joanne to listen. Aaron says that Joanne is a bit disrespectful. Aaron says every time they have a fight, Joanne is like, I have a father. I can still go to my father's house. And Aaron is like, your father can't marry you. There is nothing. I feel like the best thing, especially for a girl, is knowing she doesn't have to stay in a situation that's hurting her. She has a home to go to. Because a lot of women I feel like I don't have anywhere else to go, so let me just suffer. Let me just sit here and suffer. And for Joanne, for her to say, at least I have a father to go to, she's just showing that her dad is okay. In case of anything, my dad is there for me. So Aaron feels like he's disrespectful. Every time they have an argument, she throws, at least I have my father. I can go stay with my father. I don't need this. I can go stay with my father. So Aaron feels like it's a bit disrespectful that happens. Aaron says, I always protect you when it comes to my family. It's just that you don't know. But Joanne said you used to protect her. Now you just don't protect her. So why are you not protecting her right now? When Aaron talked about the father, Joanne said, I told Aaron a lot about my past and he uses it against me. So I'm guessing it has something either to do with the father or the mother or something, because they didn't disclose a lot. I'm guessing they will disclose it later. But John was like, he uses everything I've told him about my past against me when we're fighting, and that's why sometimes I'm like, I'm going back to my father. I don't need to hear all this. So yeah, that was Aaron and Joanne's session. Yuri and Latifah was second. I feel like Yuri and Latifah might be my favorite couple. They might be my favorite couple. Yuri and Latifah, their main issue is getting a baby. That's their main issue. Yuri was asked, what is it you'd like to give your wife? And he just basically said, I would love her to live her best life. Anything she asks for, I just want to give it to her. Anything she needs, I just want to be able to provide for her and all this. And the therapist asked Latifah, what is it you'd want to give Yuri? And Latifah said, I just want to give him a child. That's it. I don't want, there's nothing else that will make me happy than be able to give him a child. Remember, Latifah has gone through 12 miscarriages. So now, Latifah is asked, what is it that you do not like about Yuri? And she's like, Yuri gets angry a lot, gets angry quickly, and holds the grudges for long. And trying to talk to him when he's angry, it's like it's a burden. He doesn't listen. He doesn't want to budge. He doesn't want to be soft a little bit. And it's shocking because Yuri is very emotional. Like, he's very emotional. Any little thing, Yuri's gonna be crying. Not any little thing, but it's just something, Yuri's gonna cry. Like, Yuri is more emotional than Latifah. So it's shocking that. But anyway, emotional people can hold grudges. They can. So yeah, Latifah just says that's the problem with Yuri. And Yuri just says, I need Latifa to listen to me more. I need her to listen to me more. And then they talked about it more when they were doing the exercise. Now, when they were doing the exercise, Latifa was fast. Yuri was quiet. Latifa was the one speaking. And Latifa was like, I feel like you're giving me so much pressure about the kid. I feel like you don't, you're not empathetic. Remember, we talked about it last episode. You're not empathetic anymore. Your sister is the one who takes me to hospital these days to go get cleaned after, I've lost the baby. You do not come with me anymore. Sometimes I even go by myself. Like, you're not there like you used to be. Every time I got pregnant, he would care for me, make sure I'm good, make sure I have the pillows. Okay, they didn't say pillows, what I'm saying, make sure I have the pillows, make sure my food is cooked properly and all this. But these days, Yuri has kind of let it go. It's like, oh, you're pregnant, cool. Oh, you're pregnant, cool. Because he knows something might happen. Mentally, he's also prepared. And Latifa feels like he should be the same. He should be the caring person that he was since the first miscarriage. He shouldn't change, because for her, it's still the same. Latifa is also scared. If this continues and I'm not able to give you a baby, are you going to leave me? Will this relationship last? Because I am not able to give you the one thing that you want from me. That scares Latifa, to be honest. That would scare most women. Like, I'm not able to give you a baby. I'm pretty sure you will go look for a woman who's able to give you a baby. And you can imagine all the comments that Latifa gets, maybe from his side of the family, from friends and all this. So I guess Latifa is scared. And I love that she expressed that and told Yuri that. Now, it was now Yuri's turn to talk and Latifa to listen. And Yuri just said, before that, Latifa did say, you drink too much also. I hate that you also drink a lot. You drink too much. Now, it was Yuri's turn to talk, and Yuri says, I hate that you don't listen to me. And I hate that you feel like I'm pressuring you to get pregnant. But what's pissing me off with you is, like right now, I've told you, we need to use protection. Because every time you get pregnant, every time you lose the baby, you have to go get cleaned and it causes more damage. So I need you to start using protection, which made sense. Like, I feel like you should give your body a break. 12 miscarriages is no joke. And you can imagine every single time you have to get cleaned. Is it the womb or the uterus? It has to get cleaned. So it's no joke. So I feel like what Yuri was saying made sense. Let's get protection and let's just chill. And then Yuri said, I tell you, let's go to the pastors or let's go to a healer. And then you are not, your response is just slow. I want your response to be faster. That scene, or rather that scenario, Yuri, I feel like you should understand Latifa better. Because you can imagine she just goes through this. At some point, she'll be like, fine, let's just go. I know it won't work, but let's just go. So she can't respond the way maybe she used to respond the first times. Now, her response will be slow because she knows I'll probably get pregnant and I'll lose it, regardless of who I go talk to, regardless of who prays for me. So I'll probably lose it. So Yuri said that there's a time they went to a pastor, and Latifa was very disrespectful. Latifa said in her confessionals, first of all, she's Muslim. But she does go to pastors when Yuri asks, because Yuri is not Muslim. When Yuri asks, she does go. That particular day, Yuri did not tell her where we're going. So she just left the house thinking, we're just going to a random place. So she wasn't even dressed appropriately for church. And then she gets there, we're talking to the pastor. She was just pissed because of that, of which I cannot understand. And Yuri is also saying, you don't listen to advice, you don't listen to the pastors, you don't listen to what you're being, you don't listen to advice, basically. And I'm like, she knows her body better. The only thing I'll say is true, just get protection. But she does know her body better. Sometimes she doesn't want to do all the things that she's been told to do because she knows it's going to lead to, mentally, she feels like it's just going to lead to me having a miscarriage. They talk about the alcoholism. Yuri says it's the only way for him to cope. I get you, Yuri. I get you. I'm Kenyan, so I get you. Yuri says the only way for him to cope. And there was ever a point he was smoking, I think he tried to say weed. He was smoking weed. He's had suicidal thoughts. He didn't say the suicidal, but he said, I've had thoughts of just ending all this because I feel like it's too much for me. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to lose you. And you reassured, I am not pressuring you about having a child. Yes, I would want a piece of me because I do not have a mother. I would want a piece of me. But it doesn't mean I'm going to leave you. Whether you get pregnant, whether you do not get pregnant, whether you were able to have a child, because they do get pregnant. The problem is just, getting past 3 months. Whether we are able to have a child or not, me and you are always going to be together because you reassured her that I really, really love you. And like I said, I think Yuri and Latifa might be my favorite couple. Najma and Ali, Ali starts by saying the problem he has with Najma is anger issues. She has proper anger issues. He gave an example. There was a time they were talking on the phone and they had like an argument on the phone. And by the time he came home, he found all his things destroyed. Clothes burned, shoes burned, his things were just destroyed. And he was like, she'd even wait for me to come back and say and find out whether or not I'd wronged her. She already judged me and started destroying my things. So he says the main issue he has with Najma is her anger. And I'm like, why is she angry? Maybe this is coming from a woman's perspective, but I'm like, why is she angry? But also Najma, you are very physical and you also destroy people's things. Makes me think you're really not happy in this relationship and you're lashing out. And this is a very toxic relationship for you. It really is, Najma. Like, you cannot blame Ali for everything. You also have to hold yourself accountable because you destroy stuff. You've hurt him physically, which you'll talk about. If you feel like he's not faithful, because the therapist asked Ali, are you faithful? Ali said yes, and then Najma said no, not 100%, maybe 60% faithful. He is not faithful. So your man is not faithful. Your man is risking your life, risking your health, because I'm pretty sure if he's sleeping with anyway, he's risking your life, he's risking your health. You're not happy in this relationship, so I don't know why you're forcing yourself to stay in this relationship if you feel like this man doesn't love you. Because when Najma was asked, Najma was like, I don't feel like you value our marriage. I don't feel like you value our marriage. I don't feel like you value me as a person. You're not 100% faithful. Then the therapist asked, do you have each other's passwords? And Ali said, yes, she has my password. Najma said, he didn't give me his password willingly. I'm the one who figured it out. And Ali said, I know she has it because if I change it, it's going to be an issue. And then he was asked, do you have her passwords? He's like, no, I don't need her passwords. Yeah, the reason you don't need her passwords is because she's not cheating. She's not fooling around. She's not sleeping with anyone. That's why you're comfortable. But she's not comfortable because she knows you're lying, you're cheating. That's why she makes sure she gets your password. Personally, I do not like when people are going through each other's phone, couples. I don't like when couples are going through each other's phones. I feel like it's your phone. It's fine. If I want to give it to you, you check, it's fine. But I don't feel you should sneak around to go look at my phone, period. That's my stance when it comes to checking each other's phones. And then they did the exercise. When they did the exercise, Ali is the one who started talking fast. And Ali basically said, I have scars because of the way you fight. And then the host asked, does she fight you physically? And Ali was like, yes, she beats me up. Every time we have an argument, she has to fight me. She has to, and I have scars. And then Irene asked, oh wait, before I even got to Irene, the therapist asked them, have you ever hit her? And Ali said, I made a promise I will never hit her. And the day I do hit her is the day that I'm done with her. I don't love her anymore. I've forgotten everything she's done for me. We're done. And when he said that, I don't know why it made me think like he has hit her. And I'll tell you why I say that. When Irene asked Ali, have you hit her? Ali said, I never retaliate by hitting her like a man. I don't fight her like I would fight a man. So oh, you have hit her. You just don't go to the extent of, hurting her proper. So I was like, you have hit her. And then I kept thinking, when Najma hears Ali saying, the day I hit her, that means I am done with her, I am pretty sure Najma begs Ali to stay. Because she knows the day Ali hits me proper, Ali's done with me. Ali doesn't love me anymore. So Ali was expressing this. Najma was listening. Ali was talking. I was just like, your violence and your anger issues is enough. Like, I need you to trust me. I just need you to listen to me. I just need you to stop disrespecting me and stop being violent. And then it was time for Najma to speak. And Najma was like, the reason I get angry is because of the way you treat me, the way you cheat on me, the way you lie, and all this. I feel like I have to keep fighting and tell the world we're married, and you don't want to tell people that we're married. Basically, I have to fight for people to know that you're in a relationship. You're walking around like you're single, and I'm walking around like I'm married. So why do you think I'm angry? I know, I feel sorry for Najma, because if this man doesn't stop cheating, you will not stop being angry. You will not stop being sad. You will not stop being you will not stop just being unhappy if this man does not stop cheating. Because it's gotten to a point you're begging him to put on a status that you two are married, and he doesn't even want to do that. Najma said he is willing to lose Najma as long as he doesn't show the world that he's married. He's willing to lose Najma. He's not scared of losing Najma. That's what Najma said. So I feel sorry for Najma. I really do. The next couple was Ivy and Anacletus having the therapy session, right? And Anacletus was asked what is the main issue, and like, I feel like Ivy is very disrespectful to me. She shouts at me, she yells at me in front of people, in front of family. It doesn't matter where we are. When Ivy feels like shouting at me, she will shout at me. When Ivy feels like insulting me, she will insult me. And let me tell you, Ivy is a very like tiny person. So you can imagine when she's insulting you, she's using every energy she has. So that's the main issue with Anacletus. With Ivy, she says infidelity. That's it. She says infidelity. She doesn't trust Anacletus at all, and she just feels like if he would stop, then she would stop being so angry and stop being so disrespectful. The therapist asked, you guys have each other's passwords, and they both said that they go through each other's phones. She doesn't trust Anacletus, and Anacletus also doesn't trust Ivy. And Ivy is saying, I don't even do anything, but this man always has something to say, always implies that I sleep around and all this. So it was tough. It was tough listening to both of them. And then the therapist asked, has Anacletus ever hit you? And Ivy started crying and said yes. Anacletus has hit, and I was so pissed off at Anacletus. I was like, why are you hitting a woman? And then Ivy is so tiny. Ivy is really, really tiny. Now you can imagine. I was so pissed off at Anacletus. Now the exercise. Ivy started talking, and Anacletus was the one listening. And I was like, I'm going all in. I'm saying everything. Ivy started with, every time we have a fight, you outside, you leave. You don't talk to me, you don't call me, you don't say anything, and you don't come home. I'll see you in the morning, or maybe at midnight. That's when you get back to the house. And I'm like, where were you? If you're not sleeping with me, where are you sleeping? That's what Ivy says. Ivy says Anacletus doesn't listen to him at all. Ivy says Anacletus hits her. It got to a point, there's a day Anacletus hit Ivy so bad she started nose bleeding. And when Ivy said that, Yuri got emotional. Yuri started crying. And then after Yuri got himself together, Yuri said, I hate men who beat women. And then Yuri in his confessional said, I treat my wife like a human being. And that's the one thing most men don't treat women like human beings. And that's why it's so easy for them to either hurt us or kill us or something like that. Because you don't treat us like we're human. You don't see us like we're equals. And then for Anacletus to sit in the confessionals and say, she's exaggerating. I just slap her a little bit, just to teach her a lesson. I don't beat her like that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Slap her gently, beat her up aggressively. You still put your hands on Ivy, and that is wrong. And Ivy is telling you to stop. Ivy is telling you, every time we have an argument, it has to lead you hitting me. And it's gotten to a point, Ivy has to defend herself now. And Ivy is small. Like I said, Ivy is really small. So I get Ivy's outbursts. If you know someone hits you and the only way for you to express yourself is by insulting him, go ahead, do it. Ivy says she's had a few miscarriages also, and it's mostly because of stress, and it's mostly because of Anacletus. Either it's hitting, either it's insulting her. And Anacletus says, oh, and Ivy also says Anacletus thinks that she sleeps around. And Anacletus said she feels like there was a point in time they were arguing, and Ivy used to go out without informing Anacletus, and he wasn't allowed to go through her phone. But when she goes through your phone, it's an issue. But you should go through her phone, right? She wasn't allowed to go through her phone. He wasn't allowed to go through her phone, and she was pissed, and that's why he started thinking that those are not my pregnancies. So he basically would tell her, those are not my pregnancies, those are not my pregnancies, those are not my pregnancies. And it was so stressful to Ivy. She's had a couple of miscarriages. But shout out to Ivy. I just saw that she gave birth to Anacletus' baby, so congrats to them. Still a blessing. A baby's a blessing. And then it was time for Anacletus to speak. Anacletus told Ivy, I just want respect. If you respect me as a man, I'm going to be good to you. And I need you to stop being so insecure. I have colleagues who are female and male. If I talk to the females, why do you always have to think that I am sleeping with these women? I feel like that is kind of true. Just because I'm talking to a woman doesn't mean I'm sleeping with a woman. But I feel like you probably have cheated a couple of times to a point Ivy feels like, oh, every woman you're talking to, you must be sleeping with. Ivy said they've gone to pastors, they've gone to the parents to try and talk about this infidelity issue. He hasn't changed, and she hopes that he will change. Anacletus just wants Ivy to respect him as a man. That's basically what he's saying. Anacletus, then you should also listen to your wife. She's not going to respect you if you're hitting her. She's not going to respect you if you're cheating on her. She's not going to respect you if you keep saying that she's sleeping around. She's not going to respect you because if you keep doing all these things. But basically, that's what Anacletus wants from Ivy. But Anacletus says he does love Ivy. He chose her, so she should be comfortable with that. And I'm like, that's just the bare minimum. Come on now, you need to do better. But yeah, that was this week's episode. The thing I do not like when it comes to Irene the host, no, I like Irene the host. The thing I do not like is, when you're saying, stay tuned, this is Milele, this is coming up. I would like her to do it when she's not with the couples, just have your single solo scenes. But now, like, imagine after having that emotional exercise, and then you're told you have to, get yourself together so that I can do this shot. I would like Ivy to just do her solo scenes of stay tuned or coming up or something like that. I would like her to just do the solo scenes. But all in all, it was a good episode. Let's wait for episode 3.